stories will you be talking about tomorrow? It's The Economy, stupid, the '08 version.
All of us know what's happening to the economy. It's slowing.
Slowing, Senator? Try grinding to a halt. But don't worry, Senator McCain says he can balance the budget by saving all sorts of money when he wins the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Never mind that McCain's idea of winning in Iraq keeps American troops there for 100 more years. Winning the spin wars.
I have not equivocated on that position.
Barack Obama spends his holiday weekend trying to defuse the right-wing fireworks over his alleged flip-flop on Iraq. We'll give that allegation a much-needed fact-check. It's summer attack ad season. From the RNC,
Barack Obama, just the party line.
From Vets for Freedom,
now that's change we can believe in.
The Obama camp response, essentially, bring it on. More attacks mean more donations. Obama will go outdoors to accept his party's nomination in a setting fit for the Rolling Stones. Can the Republican convention stagecraft begin to compete? Swing and a miss. Amid rumors of an affair with Madonna, A-Rod's wife files for divorce, claiming he plays more than just the field. And breaking news from the world of sports.
Sunday night is football night on ABC.
This fall, it will also be reunion night, 11 years in the making. Big Keith news to tell you about, and we've got an exclusive statement. All that and more now on Countdown. Good evening. I'm Rachel Maddow in for Keith Olbermann. This is Monday, July 7th, 120 days until the 2008 presidential election. Of the many claims made today by Senator McCain about the economy, my vote for the most laugh-out-loud, double-take, wait a minute, what moment was the part where Senator McCain said he will have balanced the budget by the end of his first term because of all the money he will have saved winning the war in Iraq. Our fifth story on the countdown. If you believe that, then there's this bridge in Brooklyn I would love to talk with you about. I can get you an awesome deal. Both of the presidential candidates unveiled economic fix-it plans today. I'm using that term fix-it loosely. Senator McCain did not mention the Iraq war cash cow part of his economic plan at a town hall meeting in Denver today. He did say, however, that the U.S. economy is slowing. Just slowing. That's how alarmed he is by an economy that had over 400,000 more jobs 6 months ago than it does today. But what the job market taketh away, maybe a suspension of the gas tax would giveth back?
You know, some economists don't think much of my gas tax holiday, but the American people like it.
Okay, if by some economists you mean the 300 conservative economists who've endorsed your economic plan, even those McCain endorsers don't think much of the gas tax holiday thing, nor do they take seriously McCain's promise to balance the budget by the end of his first term. Now, speaking of gas,
we will begin by producing more of our own oil and gas. Increasing our own supply will send a message to the market and result in lower prices for oil and gas.
how is producing more of our own oil and gas even possible when American refineries are already running at or near capacity? And it was only 2 weeks ago that Senator McCain let it slip that the true impact of his energy policy would be psychological. We wouldn't be any less disastrously dependent on Middle Eastern oil. We would just feel better about that disastrous dependency. It's kind of a psychic energy policy, kind of new age. Of course, if that doesn't float your boat, a Republican can always promise to lower your taxes.
The choice in this election is stark and simple. Senator Obama will raise your taxes. I won't. I will cut them where I can.
If you happen to make over $227,000 a year, then yes, McCain is correct. You can probably expect Senator Obama to raise your taxes. And if you make a lot more than $227,000 a year, you can probably expect Senator Obama to raise your taxes by a lot. But if you're among the 95% of Americans who make significantly less than $250,000 a year, under a President Obama, you will actually take home significantly more than you do now. For a time today, it was an open question as to how Senator Obama would get home tonight. His campaign plane was diverted to St. Louis this morning after taking off from Chicago because of a maintenance issue. At the airport, the Illinois Democrat did some math on his opponent's claims that he would balance the budget.
Every independent observer who's looked at John McCain's plan says that his plan would add $200 to $300 billion a year in deficit spending. I do not make a promise that we can reduce it by 2013 because I think it is important for us to make some critical investments right now in America's families.
Let's turn now to MSNBC political analyst Dana Milbank, also national political reporter for The Washington Post. Hi, Dana.
Hi, Rachel.
He's going to cut taxes for the rich, cut taxes on the corporations they own, balance the budget in 4 years, and pay for it all with the pot of gold you get when you reach the highest level in the Iraq and Afghanistan video games. Is anyone out there saying, now this sounds like a realistic economic plan we can all believe in?
Well, I think most to the point is John McCain does not seem to be saying that. In February, he said, well, okay, he can balance the budget. Then in April, he said, nope, doesn't look that way. Now we're in July, and actually the economy has deteriorated substantially, but he's back to saying, well, I think we can get the budget balanced. The most important thing here is that he's left out Medicare and Social Security, which are obviously the largest, most significant factors going forward in the budget. So whatever you do, it's easy to balance a budget, I suppose, if you leave out all the things that are draining the money from it.
And on the specific issue of the Iraq War, in the pushback on Senator McCain's 100 years in Iraq comment, his campaign, the Republican Party, the conservatives said that what he meant to say, the appropriate context, was that us staying in 100 years was contingent on American troops not getting shot at. In other words, if we win the war, we get the opportunity to stay there for 100 years. So if he's saying we can pay for balancing the budget with all of the money we'll save by winning the war in Iraq, I'm left to wonder what that 100 years in Iraq comment really meant. And we're all left to wonder whether anybody other than John McCain really believes the math on this balanced budget proposal actually adds up.
No, I don't believe so. I mean, the suggestion there's a peace dividend implies that there was a balanced budget in the first place, which certainly wasn't the case. Now, some McCain advisors have in the past said, well, this should be accompanied by substantial slashing of discretionary spending. Well, that's possible. Or on the other hand, you need one heck of a magic asterisk in terms of the sort of explosive economic growth that nobody has forecast. But if you look at sort of the range of expectations of what everybody has, then this is unfortunately something in the realm of fantasy.
After 8 years of economic policies that McCain either helped to pass or now supports, do you think that Americans trust McCain on the issue of the economy to even really care about the details of what he's proposing? I mean, how does his aligned with President Bush problem go away with this as his economic proposal?
Well, I mean, the best thing for John McCain is for the campaign not to be about the economy. So he's starting at a disadvantage here. The latest Washington Post polls show that he has a 16-point disadvantage, 52 to 36, in terms of whether people trust him or Obama more on the economy. He is never going to close that gap. And of course, with each economic report, whether it's housing or gas prices or jobs, that number is going to deteriorate further.
In the big picture on the economy, Dana, up until this year, McCain thought most Americans were doing just fine. Thank you very much. He sort of downplayed problems in the economy. Senator Obama has been far on the other side of that. He criticized even Bill Clinton for growing economic disparity that has millions of working Americans worried about health care and education and retirement costs. As bad as things are now, do you see, and do you think voters see, a fundamental difference between the two candidates on economic issues? Are they really coming at it from totally different worldviews?
Well, yes, certainly they are, and although I think what's happened more recently is a matter of a tone rather than substance. Now John McCain has, as you noted in the introduction, more than 400,000 good reasons to take a dimmer view of the economy. Now, it was in his interest to talk up the economy, since he would be seen as essentially the incumbent party here, but Americans are taking the job question more seriously than anything else, of course.
Dana Milbank of MSNBC and The Washington Post, as always, thanks.
Thanks, Rachel.